Hello, this is Ivana.
This is Yaw.
And you're listening to the podcast Life in Black and White.
And all the shades in between.
We share all things life, relationships, marriage, parenting, race, and much more. If you enjoy listening to us, then please follow or subscribe to this podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook under Life in Black and White. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Life in Black and White. I hope you had a nice 2 weeks without us. If you missed us, don't worry, we are back. And Yao is here today as well.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Yao?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
How is life? What's new with you? See, this is the only time we get to actually chat together. Husband and wife. What's new with you, my love?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to this conversation about manifestation.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. We also have here our amazing guest, Maryanne. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Maryanne Jacobs.
Kind of, but I'm Scottish, so it's Maryanne.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I'm scared to say it. Say it again.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Maryanne.
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 That's it. Maryanne. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm just scared. I'm
Don't be scared.
No, I'm not scared of that. I'm scared of
your wife.
the face of what Vanka's kind of face that she's pulling when she's trying to say it. Okay.
It's a good thing it's a podcast, right? And not
Maryanne.
I think we should add visuals. Maryanne, yes.
Yeah.
Just call me Mary Doll. Mary Doll.
What did you ask? What did you want to ask?
I asked what your highlight of your day was.
Wow.
Ask Yaw first.
That's going to be edited and it's going to be the other way around and stuff. You realise that?
No, it's not. I'm going to make sure that you're first.
Okay. All right.
I am prioritizing you.
Okay, thank you. The highlight of my day, I went to I had a volunteer day, and it's going to be a bit of a shameless plug, but went to Five Sisters Zoo.
Okay, I know it.
And it was really good. We did we was just doing a bit of helping around and creating some borders and stuff in the stream and so forth, and it was really exciting. I thought my back was going to give way because I had a bit of a dodgy back. But it was a really cool day, lovely weather, and amazing people.
That's a really lovely highlight.
Thank you. What's
Sounds
the highlight
good.
of your day? Don't worry about my wife for a moment. What's the highlight of your day?
You can just get kicked out.
Yeah. All right.
What's the highlight of my day? I'll give you time to think about your highlight, darling.
Go on.
No, I know exactly what it was, but I don't think I should share it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Why
okay.
not? That sounds great. I want to know all the juiciness.
It's nothing naughty. Quite the opposite.
Yeah. Especially if I'm volunteering for the day.
Oh yeah, of course. Shit. Oops.
You get it right now.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to
The
say
older
that?
I am, the more I enjoy my space and being alone. So
Fair enough. Sounds nice.
Talk about you, Maryanne.
What was the highlight of my day? I've had so many highlights. I have to just pick one, right?
Go for a few if you want.
One of them was going to yoga today at the space where I work. That was really nice. It was lovely. So just being able to, and I felt really joyful while I was there today as well. I didn't feel as much pain as I usually do, and because my body's quite sick a lot of the time. So it was nice, nice and joyful and happiness. And I did a bit of sorting and fixing things at work, which was quite nice. Listened to it was very peaceful. I was in a room full of women today. So it was really nice. And then I planted lots of plants when I came home, and my partner, my son, moved all the compost for me. So I've been so many nice highlights today.
Oh,
that's cool.
I love that.
And finished off with lunch from things that I grew in the garden. with noodles and with my friend in the glass house.
Wow.
I think that answers the questions. How are you the queen of manifesting? And I know exactly when you compare our answers and hers, then it makes sense, no?
I don't know. It sounds like
All
Yal's had a
clear.
great day.
Yeah,
Yal's
just
already manifested a trip next weekend.
Yeah. I don't want, I've manifested
Oh.
things since the start of this podcast, but
now, Maryanne, can you please introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, well, that's such a hard question. So my name is Maryanne Jacobs, and I am a community networker, builder, activist, mentor, mother, lover, human being, partner.
Oh,
Yeah, many things. I wear many, many hats in
Mm.
all the nice ways. That's a little bit of who I am.
I met Maryanne at this networking meeting, and this is one of the most amazing things that we invited her here as a queen of manifesting, but she doesn't do this as a, like for a living. This is not how she talks about herself. It's just when you listen to her, you see her, you watch her, and it's obvious she manifests whatever she wants. And you know what was funny? You remember when we had these rounds during this networking meeting, and everyone was, and then we chatted, and then we had this lady talking about money. Remember?
Oh yeah, I do.
We had
Yeah.
this talk about money, and you said something that just hit me like a lightning. Wow.
Can you remember?
Yeah, of course. And you
Oh.
said that to you, money is everywhere. Like money is like an air. You don't think
Oh, like the air that we
that it's
breathe. Yeah.
everywhere. Like you just have it, and it's whatever you need, you have it. And that was, you don't hear that often. You don't hear that anywhere. So that really got my attention a lot. And I came home and I said that to Yao, even like, I met this lady, that was amazing. Like, I don't know how she does it, but it's just, you don't force it, you don't pretend, you just manifest, yeah. And it's not just money, of course, it's anything. So let's talk about this for a bit, yeah. Let's talk about money first, and then we can move on to different things as well, because manifesting is not just about money, although this is how a lot of people interpret this term. Manifesting is about, abundance. Money is a part of abundance, but it's not the whole picture. So let's talk about money. How do you manifest money, and do you even realize that you do it?
No, I don't necessarily realize it. I don't necessarily try. I think I'd quite like to go back to maybe a point where I had a different mindset to kind of sort of explain that a little bit. If I think back to not that long ago, actually, maybe have you got time for me to go back to
Yeah, of course. Go on.
okay.
Absolutely.
So I would say probably as far back as maybe like 2014. So that's what, maybe 10 years ago. I was, as much as I would definitely say that I was manifesting my every dream and desire in my life without sort of thinking about it, I had a real blockage when it came to money and my idea of the way that I communicated in my daily life about money. And I really wanted to go to a festival. And it was really quite as simple as somebody who I knew and was very close to calling me out on my own shit, really. And saying, but Maryanne, why are you relying on someone else to make this happen? And like literally it was like a wee switch inside my head and in my heart. It was like, my God, she's right. Like I really need to sort of like look at the way that I'm kind of thinking. And within 24 hours, I kind of put myself out there. I got a job. At this point I wasn't really working like at all, and I just shifted my mindset in that moment. And from that moment, money then became the same as everything else in my life, like the air that I breathe, like I said. And I started to realize that I was putting blockages there just because I was like, oh, I don't need money, money's evil, money's like I had such a sort of realizing that I had I don't know. I kind of thought that I'd been raised in a housing scheme. My mum had 5 kids. You know, my mum I'd always been raised with not a lot of money, but I had this kind of sort of lack mindset, like, oh, one day I would travel, but not sure when I would. And literally overnight, like all of that really shifted. And within a very short period of time, I started traveling around the UK. Before I knew it, I was getting jobs in the Canary Islands. I was off to Australia. It just happened.
Was it the fact you realized that you have the power in your hands that made the shift? What was that? What exactly?
I think it was a realization. So even at that point, if we're going to talk about manifesting and the law of attraction back then, I started to see people online communicating in that language and thought, what are they talking about? And then when I realized and done a very little bit of research, I was like, I already do this. You know, this is my life. This is how I've always lived my life. You know, I ask, I receive is always a sort of motto or a mantra in my head. I knew that I always could have everything that I needed. I could see it sort of unfolding in front of me, but never really had a language for that. But I never really included money in there, obviously. There was still that sort of slightly, and that came from my childhood. So I think it was for me, when I have a realization, there's something within inside me. I always point to my heart because it feels like in my heart, there's like this shift and openness that comes with that. And when I had that realization about money, I just knew that like something shifted within me. And as soon as that, it's a feeling. It's really hard to describe. It's really hard to put that into words but when I realized that money wasn't any different from anything else that I was attracting into my life, that and then I started noticing like my partner, who has a very different mindset around money, not going to lie, you know, he can be quite sort of worried about money, and even to this day he can sort of have that kind of sort of fairly lack mindset around money. And wherever Alan went, he would be finding money all the time. He would be driving down the road and he'd stop the car and he'd be picking up £20 notes. And I'd be like, mate, like, why can't you just trust the universe? You know, like it's thrown at you, you know? And still, you know, like we do to this day have quite a sort of different mindset when it comes to that. But that's okay, because that's his stuff, you know, it's not mine. And I just, think sort of abundantly when it comes to, and money I don't separate money from anything else. Like in my mind and in my heart, it's like, I trust my journey. I trust whatever I need is presented to me. And I do 100% believe that that's because I live a lot in the presence. And I think when we walk in the presence, the opportunities are there and we can attract exactly what we need.
100% agree. That's amazing. And you know what I found, like I 100% agree with you. And what I find challenging is, and what I see people struggle with the most when it comes to money, is to get into in that right mindset when you don't have enough. When you're struggling financially, and then you're supposed to believe that things are okay. I think this is what most people struggle with. What is your opinion on that?
I think a lot of that does come from that they generally don't believe that they're safe with what they have, that they don't trust that. I also think a lot of people are not grateful for what they have, if I'm honest. I think there's a lot of always wanting more. And I think when you find that deep rootedness in gratitude for what you have, then the rest of it just unfolds and it just keeps on coming, you know. And we have opportunities and options will be presented to themselves. But if you're in your head all the time thinking about money or I need money, that's as good as having the same mindset of I've not got enough. So I think that's the thing. I think people are always like focused on the money rather than focused on the journey. So I would always advise people to focus more of getting in their body and getting into the journey that's going to bring them the money, and be more passionate about whatever it is that they want to do to bring the money, if that makes sense. Like a big amount of what I do, I don't get money, but there's always that exchange of energy, you know, whether not just when it comes to work, but the way that I live my life. I'm not making each step forward for money. I'm making each step forward, whether it be through passion or whether it be through following the need of my own inner guidance, you know, where I'm going. I don't know if that answers the question.
No,
Yeah,
it does.
100%.
Yeah, it does.
You know what? I loved what you said there, that you don't separate money from anything else. And I think that's the problem for most people, that they are too hung up on money, obsessed with it. They focus on it too much. It's like the meaning of life. Like, this is what brings me happiness. Yeah, if I win a lottery, or if I don't know. Yeah, this is things you hear too often. And I loved it what you said there, that you don't see money as anything different than, I mean, you don't see money as something different to anything else. I think that's the key. That was such a good point. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I think if that's where like all of your focus is,
yeah,
then in some ways maybe you would, like, I don't even know if necessarily if all of your focus is on money, if you're going to attract money, because that mindset is coming from, I don't have what I need. You know, like in your heart, like I do generally believe that's the kind of sort of heart, the kind of center of where we're manifesting from, that alignment in our body. And if we have all of that focus on that, then it's like we're saying we're not good enough, we don't have enough. Whereas if we're focused on what we're passionate about and what we need and the way we're walking in life, there's abundance everywhere.
Yeah, magic happens then. See, Angela, I don't focus on love, and I have lots of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't obsess about love. I mean,
you know what?
I just enjoy it.
Sometimes when you say some of these things, I have to kind of double take, because I'm not too sure whether there's a compliment in there or it isn't.
Trap, yeah.
But okay.
Nice.
That's great, I think.
I'm sure she loves you.
Yeah.
This time I really.
Okay.
Oh.
Did you want to ask anything?
No.
Love is all around us.
I was gonna say, it's hard. It's a hard thing to kind of get outside of your immediate mind and stuff. If, like I said, if you've got pressures around you, it's hard to kind of get outside of that kind of thinking of, this needs to be done and this needs to be paid and this needs to, you know, being in that, like you said, could be more of a repellent, because, you know, you're not in that feeling that you know, you truly believe that you deserve this. And, you know, all these things that you're kind of considering about, just take a second to kind of think to yourself, I'm worthy of all this. I'm worthy of, you know, what you're hoping for. Maybe you don't need to do like the 100 and millionth thing and stuff. Actually, what I need to do is just just enjoy your journey, like you mentioned. Enjoy your journey. It's not easy, is it?
I think it's a bit.
Sorry.
When
you stress about things, you don't resolve them anyway. So
no, exactly.
What's the point?
And if your body, if everything is vibration, like what people speak about, and energy, then if your energy levels are like all over the place, then everything that you're attracting will be exactly the same. It's why we sort of attract things we don't want to have, right?
Exactly.
And
but
why
Maryanne in our life, so we must be
doing something right, head.
Yeah.
We're doing something right.
No,
I am, because I met her.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you remembered that from that night. That's amazing.
Of course. And you also said, how did you say that? Whenever I want something, say go holidays, even if I don't have the money for it, I just know I will, and I do. Or something like that, you said. Can you?
I wanted a glass house. Now I have one. I literally just decided about, I don't know, a week before I got it. I was like, oh look, there's a sale on. It's got like, I just pressed the button. I was like, I'll have one of those, please.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it must be.
I've never bought a house. I've never bought a car, but I bought a glass house and a caravan.
But it doesn't keep you one spot if you ever want to move around and things. I
don't have a very fixed mindset. I have a very fluid mindset in everything that I do. And I think, again, generally, I can only speak from experience, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like that is a big part of my journey and a big part of that trust, you know, because like I always knew I was going to go to Australia, but I had no idea that I'd come back from the Canary Islands and within 9 days I'd be going to Australia. I had no idea that while I was sitting drawing pictures of Australia and buying boomerangs, that meant I was going to Australia, because I don't really tune into it in that way. I just really follow my instincts and things present themselves, and I'm just like, because I'm so tuned into it, I don't miss it, which means I don't really need to be in my head very much. Like my partner will say to me, how come you don't need to think? I'm like, why do I need to?
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful for my breath. Like I get up, as I said, my body can be quite sore, but I take my time and I don't like put myself into that kind of negative mindset of what I don't have or what could. And in some ways, I'm glad I had those tools before I got sick, because maybe I would have handled it differently. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do certainly feel that a big part of my journey from having the kids really lifted me up at the age of 22.
Yeah.
You know, I had this kind of real positive kind of sort of mindset when it came to the kids, and that allowed me to kind of grow from there. At no point was I ever considering how do I make money, or what will life look like, or there was no plan, you know. I live life without plans. I plan as it unfolds, as I need to. I put out intentions.
Yeah, I was saying that to you know, we spoke about it just yesterday. I had this fright, when was that? Few weeks ago, when I was flying back here from where was I flying from? Was it from Slovakia?
No.
I can't remember. It was with the kids, so it must say so it was.
Oh, it's from
with all three boys. Yeah, sorry.
Was it Bratislava? Or
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh, have you just been away recently?
Yeah, it was 2 months ago. It doesn't matter yet, ish. And then it was during the storm Kathleen, if you remember that weekend, and we were one of the last flights before they were cancelled. And the wind was extremely strong. I think it was 100 miles per hour. So when we were above the water, above the sea, it was a nightmare. I was looking out the window and I saw how we were going down and not forward at one point. Yeah, we're just going down, and he was struggling to gain control. Yeah, over the plane. He was and you know, you have all three kids there. So in one moment, I really thought we would die. I was convinced, like, this is it. Yeah. And you know, I had these moments that you have when you think you're gonna die or something bad happens. I was like, what's the purpose in life? Yeah. But I was really angry with myself that I spent so much time of my life worrying and stressing. And it came to me so clearly as a message from, I don't know, the source, that the point of the purpose of life, or the meaning of life, is to have fun, to enjoy whatever it is, to just have fun and enjoy. And, you know, I'm on the mission to change the world for moms and all that. That didn't come to me at all, as in this is important. Just enjoy this life. So when you die, you want to feel like I had such a good life. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
absolutely.
It came to me in that split second, like that.
You know, my daughter's 20, Ivana, and she says to me, fairly, like, she said it to me a few times. She was like, "Mummy," she still calls me Mummy. It's dead cute. And she was like, "Mummy, if I was to die tomorrow," she says, "I'd be happy." She says, "Because I'll have lived everything that I want to up to this present. I have absolutely no regrets." And I was just like, that's so beautiful to hear such a young person to know that they would be content with the life that they've had so far. And I think that's quite rare. For even for grown people on their deathbed are often like holding on to that. I wish I'd done this, or I wish I'd done that. And I just think it's so powerful when you walk your every presence and tune into all of those kind of things that make you feel alive, you know. And sometimes that can just be going for a barefoot walk in the woods, or hanging out with somebody at the local, like for me, like at the local community meal tomorrow and with my family. And like all of these moments are huge for me. You know, everything, I cannot have a conversation that is not connected to the next conversation. You know, when I'm so aligned in the presence, which is 90% of the time, I would say, you know, like I can see my life unfolding in front of me, and it's really fucking beautiful. Like like I'm not going to lie, like it is really, it feels very heartwarming to know that like I must be on the right path, because I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do, and to have the things that I have, and to have the experiences, you know, that the real like the real heartwarming stuff that to me feels like that's why I'm here. You know, I could be like standing in a charity shop and meet up with someone that's so relevant to a conversation I had in the morning, and then that'll lead me to the next moment, and it's just like, wow, like it blows my mind like every day. And I find myself like standing often with my hand on my heart going, wow. And I don't know, you maybe see me documenting sometimes on Facebook, but like that's a tiny fraction. Like I'm like just like a little spark of the moments that I have throughout my day, that like I wish I could document it somehow, because like it feels so lovely to be able to experience it. But what I've realized is that those moments are not for sharing. Do you know what I mean? Because clearly there's like it's a lot, and we hold that within us, and for me that has always been the root of manifesting. Like even when I had that understanding way back in 2015, I had massive awakening in 2015 in many ways. I could do a whole podcast about that, but I'm not going to right now. But it was huge for me. You know, it was huge in the sense of like life lessons and letting go, and like my whole life like turned around overnight in 2015. And I think that back then there was little moments that just like it was like it felt like very big, very emotional, very heavy, but at the same time so beautiful and so connected. And that these are the moments that when I tap into them, like it's like another shift, like another feeling of like that more that manifesting energy. To me, it's all like interlinked with living and being, and I don't know, like even when it comes to the work that I do, I often talk to like mostly women, but also men, like parents. Like I really talk about like honing into that presence, and about coming into that time together with our kids, with ourselves, and just really feeling it all, because I feel like we live in a world that is just so disconnected that we don't get those opportunities to feel and to tap into that energy. But it doesn't mean to say it's not possible, because I do generally believe that we can reconnect in that way, and there is others out there doing the same. So
when you say tapping into that energy, is that because you feel that things seem to be happening like too fast? Like there's always like a lot of things going on at one time, so people find it maybe a little bit too distracting, do not really give themselves time to in order to kind of like maybe I don't want to say it doesn't have to just be meditating and stuff, but getting those few minutes of kind of silence to just kind of really review what you've kind of done and what you've been through maybe through a day. When you talk about gratitude,
yeah,
give yourself like time during like a day to say, let me just think about I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, and that kind of thing. Is that something that you would normally do, or is that just by day kind of basis? If something amazing has happened, then you would review it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Would you make
I think it's something that I live and breathe. I think that from the minute I wake up in the morning, that feeling of gratitude is something I've really tapped into so
yeah,
easily, and not through journaling, not through writing it down. I mean, I use Facebook a lot. I really enjoy Facebook and Instagram in the sense of automatic writing,
yeah,
processing, creating. Anything that I put out there on the internet is all a reflection of my internal being. Like it's never ever a sales post or anything that's particularly to affect another, but I'm very aware that through the ways that I create things, it does touch the homes and the hearts of others, and it can help them. And I'm aware of that because of the feedback that I've had for years. But it's always been a way of being, and I just don't think. I often hear people saying, "Oh, it's time to manifest. Let's light a candle and let's write down this," or this is part of my everyday life. Like the way in which I have the rituals and the way I live my life is that I would light candles and putting out energy for the world, for my brothers, for my sisters, like constantly bringing that high energy into my life because it feels natural. It feels like a part of being, whether I'm going in my bath and lighting my candles and that centering that energy for myself, or it's just a part of way of being. I'm not thinking, right, I'm going to go and manifest tonight, or I'm going to go and do this in this way, or this is how I need to do this spell to make sure this happens, or it's not how I like it. It was quite internal, and it's about centering myself. And when I'm at ease and my nervous system's at ease, and I'm doing these things, I'm in alignment with what I would say the universe.
Yeah,
I think most of us are stuck in our heads too much. No,
100%.
and we have this ability, all of us, but we're so stuck in our heads that we so disconnected. And I have to say, I'm very, very spiritual. Although this, you know what? I feel like this word is becoming a fashion rather than.
Well, this new age spirituality can be quite toxic, to be fair. Let's be honest. So I get it. Yeah.
So I'm careful with that word, but I love work with energy and all these kind of things. Lived in it like since I was 15, maybe. I started to, be interested in these kind of things. But still, I have so much work to do. And I think my biggest problem is to be in that energy all the time. Yeah, because I can have days even, not just moments, days when I'm on fire. Yeah, I feel unstoppable, powerful. But then, I don't know what happens, and I'm back to, victim mindset, should I say, or stuck in my head. And I think this is what most people struggle with, that the outside circumstances dictate how they feel.
I think I would suggest that you tap into your inner cycles and make sure they're in alignment with what's going on the outside. I.e., people in the winter, they get very depressed. They become that kind of sort of like heavy energy where everything is shite and everyone's so negative. But paying attention to those outer cycles of nature and our inner cycle, especially as women as well, because we have our sort of like monthly cycle as well. And throughout that time, really tapping into that and being aware. And it's not about working it out up here, because if you ask me anything about my cycle up here, I could not tell you in my head. But what I will tell you is that my behavior changes throughout that week and throughout that month. And I will tap into that energy and listen to it. And whether that be that I just need to go and stand and ground outside, like we are so disconnected. Like, unless we are connected with nature, our own Mother Earth, it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Or what we will do is we might well attract fakery into our life to the point that we'll build a life that will come crashing down. And I think if we don't build that sustainability from the bottom to the top, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
What do you think, or what are your thoughts about manifesting in general?
Wow, just put me on the spot.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can have a few breaths while you think about it. Hand on heart, gratitude and all that.
Yeah.
Gratitude for that new microphone. Who manifested that?
That was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because blokes in general are not as open about these things. They can be a bit, skeptical, or very practical. You are.
Well, let's look at manifesting from your own life experience. Think back to when you're a child. Think back to when you don't have all these kind of sort of bills and things that you put pressure on yourself. Can you think of times where things just were in flow and you were connecting with Earth Mother, or like the universe, whatever energy it is that presents itself? You know, when you're being spoken to from the universe in so many ways, can you remember any of those times?
Oh, loads. Because I think in those moments there, like you said, it was less about what I needed to kind of had to provide. It was more about just living life. It was the things that you wanted to do and you were choosing to do, and like just really enjoying to do and stuff, right? So if you
Yeah.
had football or you had your sports, or these are all the things that we enjoyed doing, and we didn't do it for the sake of doing it. It was something that you enjoyed doing. And so if you wanted to kind of go to the next level or the next level, you were grateful for the skills or whatever that you had, but you didn't see yourself as kind of being stopped in any way. You only had the opportunity to learn to kind of improve and move forward. So yeah, there was loads of things and stuff. In that instance, I think as you kind of grow, you may not necessarily mean to, but you add a lot of pressure to yourself. And by adding these
Because we stop following
Yeah.
our passions.
Yeah.
We stop following what makes us feel good. And we tap into building a life that's unsustainable, or building a life that isn't in alignment with who we are. So in those moments, I would always suggest you either like step into that energy or pull back from it. You know, like there's no the only way is up. You know, there's all directions.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
I totally agree with that.
there's not one way forward. You know, like there's so many ways forward,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's like a dance. We'll go forward, we'll go back, we'll go sideways, we'll go up, we'll go down, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because then that's more in alignment with what feels right and what works for us as a family or as an individual.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that.
And I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people think that, okay, I decided I want to be a businesswoman, so I'm just going to go and be a businesswoman. But what if the next again week you just wanted to lie in the sun for a week?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like we've got all these fixed ideas on who we are, who we should be. But actually, if we tap back into our breath, tap back into who we are, then we can feel more and we can see more and we can be aware of that energy around us.
Switch of your thinking more.
Yeah, and tap into your body. We really need to. Like, how many people's nervous systems just don't work properly because of this modern day way of living?
Yeah.
And I like to think I'm very much in the modern society. I'm out there. I'm not hiding. I'm not living in the countryside growing my own food. I'm in the city growing my own food.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have this ability. I don't know about you, but do you ever have any of those friends that always talk about this ideal life that they dream of in the future? Buy a bit of land and we'll do this and we'll do that. What are they doing? Why are they not doing it right here, right now? Why are they not building community in their own communities? Why are they not doing the things that they say they want to do? They're dreaming of a day that doesn't come. And that's what I was doing when I was like, one day I will travel, one day I will do this. Just do it. Do the things that we believe that we want to bring into our lives.
Yeah. I can already hear the listeners, some of them saying, but I don't have money.
Exactly. But they'll never have anything. Putting that traveling energy and taking that mindset could literally use your free bus pass or your kids' free bus passes and head into the other side of the city. You know, because it's about stepping into that energy. It's not about let's go to Barbados tomorrow. You know, it's really about I want to travel, so I need to embrace and embody travel. Because if I can't even travel down the road without thinking, oh, one day, then I'm never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
It opens doors.
In other words, if you want something, be it now.
Yes, absolutely. Embody it. A bit like what we were talking about with the kids.
Yeah.
You want to be an artist? Go and paint a picture, hen. Go and dance.
Yeah.
Go and do whatever it is that you need to do. Kids are amazing manifestors. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
you know,
true.
because there's no blockages. There's nothing stopping them apart from their parents a lot of the time.
Yeah. You can't.
But their parents need to have a wee seat and actually look at their children, because their children are the top form manifestors. My kids have been a huge inspiration to me. My daughter particularly, you know, she really is a top manifestor too. I definitely feel she went through her wee phases, like we all do, where she really didn't trust her journey, and it's about bringing that back, isn't it? You know, and I'll tell you about a quick moment I had with my daughter out in our polytunnel last year. We're standing in the polytunnel, and I was asking her to help me plant some plants and planting some seeds, and she was like, "Mummy, you've got this whole life where you know about plants and everything, and I've got nothing." And I was just like, "Oh, babe." And I was like, but what, like, obviously I kindly reminded her of everything that she did have. And in that moment, she was like, I need to make life interesting. And she went out and she did it. You know, she just like, within weeks, she was out, and she was like, our whole career path changed, because she said to me, I'm really not enjoying psychology in college. And I was like, well, why are you doing it? And she was like, I just want to do music. My heart tells me I want to do music. I was like, well, go and do music. And that's exactly what she did. You know, it's so beautiful, like, to just have something. Sometimes you just need that reminder, don't you?
Yeah. And we spoke about it with Yao. I told him, no, that we need to do something new every week, because the energy of new, breaking the routine you're stuck in every day. If you're stuck in a routine, you need to break it and just, like you said, go take a bus somewhere, or just go do something.
Go on an adventure.
Yeah. And that makes such a big difference.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. So
we become a bit stagnant, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, a bit like a glass of water. If it's just sitting there, it just gets a bit yucky and a bit not very tasty. So we're the same, you know, like, it's like, I know a lot of people that have rheumatoid arthritis like me, and a lot of them, they're in so much pain, they just don't move anymore, and they get really, really sick, and it's really, really sad. And for me, I have to move. I have to push through the pain. I have to get up, and I have to live my life. Well, I say I have to. I don't have to. I guess it's a choice. But I choose that every day, to get up and to enjoy my life, because one day it won't be here, and I think death walks right beside me every day, and I'm okay with that, because that's a real reminder to live.
That's amazing.
I love to listen to you. Could we speak to you every day?
Oh, really?
No, but you're so amazing. You know, you have so many of these manifesting coaches and experts, and they just don't have the same energy as you. I can't describe it, but you are different in the nicest possible way, because you are it. You don't pretend. You don't chase business with this. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with chasing business.
No.
But you know what I mean, like,
each to their own.
That's amazing.
I remember when I manifested some chickens in my garden. It was really funny.
Tell us the story.
I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, go for it.
So I really wanted chickens, right? And Alan, my partner, was like, oh my goodness, don't want chickens. No, don't want chickens. Which, of course, I feel like you have to really embody and align even more when you've got that kind of sort of negative energy there, because it's like a conflict, isn't it? So I had to kind of sort of just like let that go. That's his stuff. I was like, I'll get some chickens. And then the next day, my friend called me and said, oh, one of my friends is giving away a chicken coop. You know, the thing to keep the chickens in. And I was like, oh, I'll go and get it. So I sent Alan to go in the car. I was like, oh, please go and just get me the chicken coop. I says, I don't know how I'll get the chickens, but just get me the chicken coop. So I got the chicken coop. And honestly, within days, I had like a call where my friend was like, oh, I've got these chickens that I need to rescue. Can I bring them to your garden? I was like, yeah. And then next minute, Alan was away buying me 2 other chickens and giving them all names.
Oh,
it was so cute. Alan called his one omelette. I thought it was so funny. Mine was called Peace, and he called his omelette. But eventually, most of them, apart from the bully one called Bella, got eaten by foxes. On the same day that my nephew was born, in one end of the hospital, and Alan's mum was dying at the other end of the hospital, the chickens got eaten. So I walked out my house for the full circle of life to see my dead chickens, to go to the hospital to celebrate birth and death all at once, and it was just like, woo!
Wow, it's not easy.
It's no, I just embraced it. Like what can you do? Like it's hard, but like that's what I was saying about like really embracing life and going, wow, you know, like it's like those little moments or big moments that you just have to kind of breathe it in. And in fact, that morning, because one of them survived, just before we went to the hospital, Alan says that he had seen somebody up the road who had chickens. So we walked up there, and it just so happens that there was somebody in the house clearing out because they'd just moved out and they knew the people. So we were able to give that chicken that morning to them as well, to take it away and rescue it just before we ended up going to the hospital. But it just felt like a real circle of life, like a real like, and seeing those moments, all you have is your breath.
Yeah.
Not you don't have anything else. Like you can easily get up into your head about it or allow your kind of sort of nervous system to take over. But what I've learned, and it's only latter years recently that I've done a bit of yoga, and that idea of like being really in the presence and being with your breath has been really beautiful. And now learning yoga, because I just did a scholarship in yoga recently as well, it feels like, again, I really embody those practices of yoga in my life without even realizing.
Yeah.
And I said that when I was in my class recently, is that I don't necessarily embody it on the mat, but I do in my life when it comes to like the yoga sutras and the mindsets and the way in which we walk forward in life. And I think it's really been really helpful to me to have that. And one other thing, I guess, I don't know if it sounds a bit negative, but I think a lot of my life experience and a lot of the kind of sort of like living in the presence could possibly have came from the fact that I had a lot of trauma in my childhood. So I had quite a lot of sort of like having to keep myself safe, that feeling of like it's only on reflection I can reflect on this as an adult, but at the time it was just my way of life. But I feel like through having those life experiences, I mean, there's people had a lot worse than me, but through having my life experience, I feel like I live with those tools in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like I always feel like they're really, like, they have served me really well to be able to support other people, you know, to have that sort of hyper awareness that I have. And it served me in such a good way, because quite often that can then lead to other complications and other ways that make people feel not so at ease. But for me, it's allowed me to really, really embrace the presence.
Do you know that I manifested you? Did I ever tell you this? I manifested.
Did you manifest him? Did you draw a picture of him?
No,
it seems,
but it's true. You know what? I was married before, and
okay.
I used to tell my first husband I want black children.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was telling him I want black children, and then he said, "Yeah, okay, like it's not gonna happen." I said, "Yeah, I want black children."
Wow.
I know, right? Did you know this? I always wanted black children, but
how long were you married
because
for?
they are so cute. 8 years, or with my ex, with my first.
Oh, your ex, yeah.
4 years together,
Okay.
6, so 10 years together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And after I divorced, I moved to the UK permanently, and I was so determined to find the one, because I hadn't found him, obviously. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know what's going to
coming.
be. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be said and stuff next.
The anticipation.
Yeah, exactly.
Suspense.
I'm living in the present.
Drum rolls. So
and breathe.
And breathing. That's That's the only thing that's getting me through this bit is the breathing bit.
Don't worry, it's a nice thing I'm going to
Okay,
say.
Okay.
But you know what? Sometimes I say things and he can't believe I said it. And he looks at me as if, did you really say that? That's how my dad described it, not me. So I'm just quoting. So I was determined to find the one, but there was no one, in my life that was remotely close to the one at the time. But I would go for a walk, for instance, and I would visualize the one, because I said to myself, he is out there somewhere. Clearly, I'm not going to be alone for the rest of my life, hopefully. So my next husband, the one, is somewhere out there, somewhere. He is somewhere doing something. So I thought about things like, oh, what is he doing now? Is he maybe thinking about his future? Is he missing me without knowing it's me? Or what is he doing right now? So every day I would connect with you on a vibrational level. And I just knew you would show up when the time comes. And you did. And you were there.
Now I want to know where he showed up. Where did he show up? Did you find him on the internet?
So we got
the street.
Yeah.
We got drunk.
We showed up in the bar. Yeah.
Did you just meet and go for a date? Did you meet online? Or?
No, we knew we'd known each other before, so we were friends for about 2 years,
something like that.
And then we
went.
Not
that close.
We were not close.
Yeah.
But I always, I always thought, oh, why can't I meet someone like Yaw? Why can't I just be with someone like Yaw? That was I always thought that when we met, because you really are the nicest person.
Oh. Did you think he wasn't interested in you?
No, but we both, we were having our thing going. I was married. He was
okay.
In a rubbish relationship as well.
Wow, that goes out of the podcast. That's brilliant. I suppose any relationship.
Why would that person listen to the podcast?
I was going to say
let's talk about that.
Any relationship that isn't this relationship would have to be, right? But
yeah.
Oh, that was a nice comeback there, right?
Thanks. I've been working on that for a little while.
I say. And then we went out. My friend Lucy and Yaw and another guy. And I was supposed to just go with Lucy, and all of a sudden she said, Yaw is coming as well. But I love the Yaw, so I said, that's fine. And then she said, and another friend is coming, a man. And I said, oh, but now I won't meet anyone, Lucy. We're going to look like two couples. And she said, oh, don't worry. The men can talk together and then we just can flirt. Okay. And then, we got drunk and then somehow I ended up with Yaw. And I just knew he was the one right away. In that moment, I just knew. It's hard to describe, like you say. Some things are hard to describe, but I knew in that moment. And I was right.
Oh.
Did I tell you where I met Alan?
No, tell us.
Shall I tell you? I met Alan at a bus stop in Edinburgh.
Oh, wow.
I did, when I was 17.
Wow.
And do you know what's even funnier is the chip shop behind the bus stop was named after me. It had the same surname. It was called Jacobs.
Yeah.
And it was only that for a very short period of time, and then it changed.
Wow.
So I sat and I was eating chips from this chip shop, and he just appeared. We were both traveling to the same area, and then we got chatting. And then we got the bus together. He went to his friend. I went to my friend's.
Yeah.
And then we never really... I said to him that, maybe we can get the bus back later or whatever in conversation. Yeah. But then I kind of ditched out and was at my friend's and didn't. And then the next day, he came walking into my work because he remembered in the conversation where I worked.
Wow.
And then he gave me his phone number. And then we haven't really been apart since. 25 years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that.
It's so funny.
I love it.
My granny was at the bus stop over the road, and I was at that bus stop.
Was she going like that? Was she giving like thumbs up? It was like,
I've got no idea what she was doing. She was going to the bingo.
Yeah. Our first real date, I suppose, was my nephew's wedding. Didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was going to cancel and things.
You didn't know me yet.
Yeah. And I said to my sister, this is my first date, real date and stuff with Ivanka and things. Please do not go crazy. Do not say anything, do not do, because if I meet someone, they don't meet the family for, a little while and things. And the first date just happened to everybody. And the moment that I got dancing for 2 seconds and I left by the table and stuff for 2 seconds, I was on the dance floor. I just remember turning around. I'm not joking. 2 seconds of being up, my sister sat there next to Ivanka, and I was like, "Oh, for Christ!" Within the time that I was up there and kind of back and stuff, I'm coming back thinking, okay, this isn't going to go too well. And she's already like 2 thumbs up. She's like, oh yeah, she's amazing. And I was like, wow. You've even my sister's,
that's a nice way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, seal of approval on the first date.
But you know what? I had one of the reasons I married my first husband was his mother. Yeah. Family. It was like, oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, so I was very keen on, when you asked me to go to the wedding, I was very happy about the idea to get to know your family right away. So, like, we were not the youngest, so you don't want to waste any time and then find out, oh my God, this is not going to work because of a crazy family member. Yeah. So I was very happy, actually. I just wanted to know what I'm signing up for right away.
I love the fact that you're still thinking of signing up. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be, and this is going to end before it's even begun and things.
Why?
But it just seemed like a lot for a first date.
But you asked me then.
Why did
you ask me then?
I don't know.
Because you were hoping to put me off. Did you?
Oh, is there any age? Is there any age difference between you?
Yes, 8 years.
8 years. 8 years.
Who I can't tell the difference. Who's older? Who's younger?
Thank you.
Yeah. I honestly can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Who is it?
You're the older. Ivanka's the older
no,
one.
he is.
No, I am.
You're older.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Tell me, I look older than him. I'm gonna cry in the pillow.
I think you both look really young. Like, it's really hard to tell.
Nice save.
Do you know what? On that note, I'm going to end the conversation and I'm just going to walk away and just be happy. Okay.
People don't age.
Okay.
I just have to say.
Okay.
Alan's 17 years older than I am. Oh, he's just walked in the door, actually. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah.
It's Ivana and Yaw.
Hello. How you doing? You all right?
He's stuffing his face with something.
Hungry.
We look forward to meeting you soon, hopefully.
He can't hear you, but they're saying they look forward to meeting you. Because I've got headphones and they can't hear.
I was wondering whether he's eating chips from the shop that used to be Jacobs.
Yang was asking if you're eating chips from the chip shop where we met. No. What are you eating? Slices of cheese.
One slice.
Oh, 1 slice of cheese.
Okay.
Fair enough.
This was amazing, Maryanne. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I
hope it's I hope it's well. I hope it was. I enjoyed the chat.
We've taken a lot away from it. Especially about living in the now and a lot about the gratitude of what we have and stuff and living in the present and stuff. It's something that I think everybody needs, right?
And I'm sure that our listeners will enjoy this or have enjoyed this very much as much as
I
we
hope so.
Thank you so much again for listening to us. And if you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Please leave us a review if you haven't yet, but it really, really helps to get this podcast discovered.
And follow us, right?
Of course. That
just goes without saying. All right.
Who wouldn't follow us? Come on, man.
Okay. And if you're any exes and stuff following us, thank you for...
Why are you here? Go away.
Please leave a great review and things. And no, I'll leave it there.
Okay. Right. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.